Right away with our magistrates, several authorities, among them the governor of the littoral region, Samuel Dieudonné, are in a day to ensure that security is tightened after several persons were wounded by some hoodlums or bandits who attacked vehicles on the Douala-Idea highway that was recently. We will be telling you more in this edition of the news with our reporters who are in Idea. Plus, the population of Douala, be it in Bonaberry or in other parts of the town, so they are fed up somehow with heaps of dirt at every street corner of the economic capital. The entire town is very filthy, and the regular absence of the hygiene and sanitation company to clear the dustbins has been very conspicuous lately. We bring to you the present image of the city of Douala in this edition of the news, so stay with us. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for always according us your time every 6 p.m. for the news in the English language. My name is Anna Bilaleke. We begin by talking about the filthy nature of the city of Douala, especially Bonaberry, where the situation seems to be very dire. Residents of Bonaberry say the garbage found on major streets has made life a living hell for them somehow. Traders at the Granga market decry the fact that the stench from the waste puts them at risk of airborne diseases. Immaculate Frogwe now paints a picture of Bonaberry with filth in this report.
Streets of Bonaberry in the Douala 4 subdivision, and inhaling the stench emanating from the garbage is unavoidable. The streets, which have been transformed to garbage sites, is a cause for concern.
The dirt has been here for more than 2 weeks. Izaka has not been able to carry the dirt. The whole Antematago and Granga General is polluted. Look at this market. The key pigs here, the key fowls here, all have been dumped here.
Residents say the garbage exposes them to all sorts of life-threatening diseases. They are calling on the company in charge to address their problem.
Whether the people of the health organization, you see here, people don't sleep well. The odor goes up to 500 meters. Though all those who are staying around here are already sick. Very soon they'll be talking of infections, pulmonary infection. This is where people carry it, and then when people start dying, they will start bringing, now that they are coming for it. This is the time. What is ZACAP doing? Not done. I think the next thing, they will come and carry people here who are already dead here at Granga.
Like Bonaberry, inhabitants of several neighborhoods across the city of Douala go through the same challenge. Lack of proper collection and disposal of this waste poses a great threat to both humans and the environment.
And just like you mentioned, the immaculate residents of other parts of Douala, keeping Bonaberry aside, say they are fed up somehow with the heaps of garbage invading the streets. They are denouncing the irregular collection services by the company in charge. Once again, you made a stop over at some other street corners here in the city of Douala. It now paints another picture of what obtains there.
No. Daido, Makapamisoke, neighborhoods in the city of Douala overwhelmed by uncollected waste. The garbage, which has not been collected for days, has become a serious nuisance to the public.
I think that dirt is a bad thing. When we see like this, give us sick. Children pass after school, seeing dirt everywhere like this. It's not a good thing. It gives us sick, and we are not alert when we are walking everywhere. At times they say that cleanliness next to godliness. See, everywhere we walk and see dirt everywhere. We don't sound, we are not happy. It's an economic capital. We have to look neat.
According to the population, the garbage which has invaded their streets is affecting circulation in the area. During a thaw, we could notice some workers of the hygiene and sanitation company in some neighborhoods trying to evacuate the garbage. They, however, complained about poor waste disposal by some civilians. It's just a matter of time for you to see dirt piled here again. A lot of people prefer throwing dirt on the streets despite the presence of a trash can. Low collection coverage and irregular collection services has been a major problem faced by the population for years. Over the last 3 decades, the exponential population growth coupled with increased commercial activity have increased waste generation in Douala. Lack of proper collection and disposal of this waste poses a threat to both human and the environment at large.
Hopefully the deaths or heaps of deaths are clear off. That would be soon so as to prevent the local population from airborne and why not waterborne diseases. And now we continue talking about the problems the population of Douala are facing. Now we take you precisely to the Douala 3 municipality, where the people there say they are faced with numerous challenges, among which insecurity, the poor state of the roads and lack of drainage systems. And to resolve some of these problems, the mayor for the Douala 3 area, Valentine Ipupa, organized a meeting with the local population to discuss a way forward. Lucy Liengu Esie was in that meeting. She now tells us more.
Urban disorder, insecurity, poor roads are some of the challenges faced by the population of the Douala 3 subdivision.
Most of the problems that we have here are roads problem. We have many difficulty with road. We also have difficulty with electricity. We have pole without electricity in the quarter. That's why we draw the attention of the mayor that he should try and give us even machine to come and drive the road. Put lamps on the pole that are in the quarter to reduce insecurity matters.
Population of Douala 3 is facing the issue of drainage because most people have built houses on roadsides which have blocked the passage of water, and also facing the issue of insecurity in their various localities.
Another major problem raised by the population is the presence of industries close to houses whose industrial activities pollute the air.
We draw his attention about people living near the industrial zone at the place called Carrier. There is a primary school there where children are facing enormous problem of pollution, air pollution, due to some scratch coming from a company there.
To address the aforementioned problems, the mayor of the Douala 3 municipality organized a meeting grouping presidents of associations and some other concerned residents.
From this meeting is to try to exchange, to talk with the population, to have the feedback of what we are doing, and then to try to explain the new measure that we are taking. Some problem, the problem of water with rainy season. So if we have to remove moats in those rivers, we have to do it. We have the problem of building new roads. We have the one of the classroom, that public classroom that we have to rehabilitate.
The population is calling on council authorities to ameliorate their living conditions and also help them fight against urban disorder.
And now we talk education. School authorities of the government technical high school in Bonaberi here in Douala. They complain of limited teachers and quality materials needed for the students to effectively carry out their practical exercises. This was during the Open Door Days activity organized in the school campus, which permitted the students to showcase their know-how or their talent in their various fields of study. Mala Glory completes the story for us.
This is a building construction department. This is survey. Under building construction, we have different departments. This is a survey department. Actually, some of the problems that we are facing in this department is like a vast area that we can carry out our practicals.
From building construction, automobile repairs, mechanics, fashion designing, and catering, the students of Government Bilingual Technical High School and Atlanta Bilingual Comprehensive High School Bonaberi showcased their know-how. An internal exhibition in the school premises during the Open Door Day activity.
This is stamp cook. The social way that we build the social way is charcoal under, then it's the place where I put water there. So it's having two functions. One of the functions is to cook, then the other one is to generate light.
Made out of different associated materials like brick, block, stone. This wall is mostly common. It's mostly used for fence, for security around our building, to secure our house from physical attack.
We are here to present the sand equivalent test, which is to determine the cleanliness of sand, if it is pure or where it can be useful. If our sand is greater than or equals to 85, that means we have a clean sand.
an activity which permitted parents and guardians to understand their children's different fields of studies and also for the teachers to evaluate their students.
The objective of organizing the Open Door Day internal exhibition in Atlanta Bilingual Comprehensive High School is to invite parents at large to come and see what exactly their children can showcase.
In the course of the activities marking the Open Door Day, the principals complained of limited teachers and inadequate machines as major challenge affecting the effective practicals of students.
The absence of our teacher is one of many difficulties.
The first challenge that we are having is having the desired machines, because there are some machines needed to do these practicals, and most of these machines are not in Cameroon.
Students of Government Bilingual Technical High School Bunnaberry, just like any other technical school across the country, have a common challenge, which is that of the absence of quality machines to carry out their practicals, with a common objective: getting adequate skills.
Talents there we should be boosted, and also students of the Government Technical High School in Loom. This time around we are in the Mongo division of the Littoral region, prove their know-how in their various fields of study as well, from the construction of household equipment to electrical appliances and even monuments. The students during the Open Door Days of government schools across the national territory used the opportunity to express some challenges they face. Top among them is frequent power failure, especially as their examinations are fast approaching.
The end-of-year official exams is fast approaching, yet these students of Government Technical High School Loom are unable to complete their training course due to frequent power outage. When there is blackout, we can't do anything, especially when there is no manual machine. This really affects our work and our program for that day. This is one amongst the many other challenges faced by these technical students of GTHS Loom, Mongo division of the Littoral region.
We have so many difficulties as far as training technical students are concerned. We have machines, but they are not enough. And also for those who are also sewing, we call them the seamstress. They also have electricity shortage because those machines are being supplied by electricity.
Their frustrations were raised in the course of activities marking the Open Door Day in GTHS Loom. The Open Door, which had a slogan, "Produce and Consume Cameroon Products," permitted students to showcase their know-how in wood works, building construction and designing. Courses which should be encouraged according to the school principal.
Si nous prenons l'exemple d'un département comme celui de...
If we take, for example, wood, you can see the wonderful items produced by these children with the use of wood from our forest. If we also look at other departments, we'll have no reason to envy foreign products. That is why the slogan is "Produce and Consume Cameroon."
Consommons camerounais.
At the end of the day, the principal of the Government Technical High School Loom said the children can do better if they are provided with the expected equipment, thus calling on parents to consider the needs of their children while sending them to a technical school, and for the government to equip the schools at the end of the construction project.
And viewers, we told in the headlines that several authorities, among whom the governor of the Littoral region, Samuel détenons, are in Idea in the Sanaga Maritime Division to ensure that security along the Douala-Idea highway has been tightened after several persons were wounded when their cars were attacked by large stones by some hoodlums on the Douala-Idea highway, precisely around the Dibamba. We have our reporters in Idea. Hopefully, they are going to be telling us more in the course of this newscast. Meantime, We take you out of our national frontiers. Up to 21 people have died and 16 others are still missing after a ferry sank off the coast of Gabon's capital Libreville. That was last Thursday. And Gabon has decreed a 2-day of national mourning. In Malawi and Mozambique, over 216 people have died following a devastating tropical cyclone Freddy, which has ripped through the region. Let's now have our foreign pitch roundup with Fomi Armstrong Sanda.
The devastating tropical cyclone Freddy, which has ripped through southern Africa in a very second landfall, has killed at least 216 people in Malawi and Mozambique since Saturday night, with death toll expected to rise. Heavy rains that triggered floods and mudslides have killed 199 people in Malawi, according to authorities. President Lazarus Chakwera declared a state of disaster in the country's southern region and the now ravaged commercial capital Blantyre. Some 19,000 people in the south of the nation have been displaced, according to Malawi's Disaster Management Directorate. Mozambique, on its part, is racing to adapt to climate change. The weather is winning. PAN communications are down in many affected areas, hindering aid operations, according to the United Nations Secretary General spokesperson at a press conference on Tuesday afternoon. The most affected areas remain inaccessible, so the full extent of the damage so far is unknown. Reports from Mozambique's Disaster Institute on Tuesday confirmed that 17 people have died in the country and some 1,900 homes have been destroyed in the coastal Zanzibar province. Tens of thousands of people are still holed up in storm shelters and accommodation centers. Born in Central Africa, a total of 124 people were rescued after the ferry known as the Easter Miracle from the Royal Coast Marine Company sank at 3:58 a.m. local time last Thursday, and rescue operations are still ongoing. Gabonese President Ali Bongo Ndimba declared Monday evening 3 days of national mourning, starting from Thursday in the memory of the victims of the sinking. Tuesday, March 14th, Wednesday, March 15th, and Thursday, March 16th will be days of national mourning. In addition, throughout this national mourning, all festives and sporting events in the country will be suspended, according to the president. The ferry carrying passengers and goods was proposed until the second largest city in the country. The ship was relatively new, according to local media. Up to 21 people died and 16 others are still missing. For me, I'm Sean Sander, Equinoxe Radio.
And like I earlier mentioned, a 3-day of national mourning has been declared in Gabon by the Gabonese President Ali Bongo. Meanwhile, schools have been forced to shut down in Malawi because of the cyclone. Now we talk sports, viewers. Africa will have to have at least 10 teams to represent the continent at the 2026 FIFA World Cup, to be hosted by the United States of America, Mexico and Canada. The FIFA Council meeting that held in Kigali, Rwanda on Tuesday validated the new format for the 2026 tournament that will also be first to witness 48 teams participating. Smart Dikan Gabriel read through the decisions taken during the FIFA Council meeting and put together this report for the news.
Meeting that met in Kigali, Rwanda, had on its agenda 4 main points. Amongst them, the format for the 2026 FIFA World Cup that was agreed by the Council members. After a thorough review, the FIFA Council members that considered the sporting integrity, players' welfare, team travel, commercial and sporting attractiveness, as well as team and fan experience, unanimously approved the proposed amendment to the FIFA World Cup 2026 competition format from 16 groups of 3 to 12 groups of 4, with the top 2 and 8 best third place teams progressing to the round of 32. It means that there will be 104 matches, a huge rise compared to the 64 matches played at the 2022 tournament, with the 2026 edition having 80 matches. The finalists and the teams finishing third and fourth will play a total of 8 matches instead of 7. With the new format in 2026, The tournament will be played for more than 29 days as it was the case in Qatar. The revised format mitigates the risk of collusion and ensures that all teams play a minimum of 3 matches while providing balanced rest time between competing teams. It will be the first time 48 teams will be qualifying for the FIFA World Cup, and spaces for each continent has been increased. There will be 9 or 10 African qualifiers for an expanded 48-team 2026 FIFA World Cup, up from the 5 in Qatar. The 2026 FIFA World Cup will be the first to be hosted in 3 cities, USA, Mexico, and Canada, with 11 of the venues to be in USA, 3 in Mexico, and 2 in Canada. The FIFA Council meeting came on the heels of the 73rd elective FIFA Congress that is to hold in Kigali, Rwanda this Thursday.
Thank you, Smanti Kangebre, for that report. And we are struggling to get to our reporters who are in Edea. We have been telling you in the course of the news, viewers, that because of what happened that was over the weekend on the Douala Edea highway, you know that several persons were wounded. Some persons are even already in a coma since that was on Saturday breaking Sunday breaking Monday, when their vehicles, people were coming from Yaoundé, their vehicles were attacked by some bandits, so to speak, on the Edea Douala highway, somewhere around the river Dibamba. And by some hoodlums, what was their modus operandi? They used some huge stones to shoot at vehicles, passing vehicles around a sharp bend, forcing most of the drivers to stop. And they had to, their plan was to come and attack them. But since they couldn't, most of those who were attacked, most of the vehicles who were attacked, they actually got some persons wounded. Some victims even had fractured heads, and that prompted the governor of the littoral region, Samuel Détenons, to have a press briefing with media men and women to ensure the local population or public opinion that security, all is being put in place to ensure that security is being tightened on the Douala Edea highway for such an incident not to happen again. And today, other authorities, including the governor again, met in Edea with the local authorities, that's the divisional officers of the Senegal Maritime plus the SDO to ensure that security is actually tightened and something like that doesn't happen again. We have our reporters who are on the ground, who are in Edea, Babila Jonathan, and our cameraman. If the report is there, if in the control room the report is there, let's now get to know what happened in Edea today.
Relative calm has returned on National Road number 3, linking Cameroon's 2 major cities, the political capital Yaoundé and the economic capital Douala, particularly on the section linking the economic capital Douala and the divisional capital of the Senegal Maritime Division, Edea. Where we are now is Ekite in the Edea 2 subdivision, and this toll gate you're seeing behind me was in Sikum, where the recent attacks on vehicles occurred. And because the toll gate was moved from Sikum to Ekite, some of the people here told us that this is what created the enabling environment for the attackers to carry on with attacks on vehicles. Several vehicles were attacked with the aid of this stone that you're seeing that were thrown by the attackers on the vehicles. Windscreens of several vehicles shattered and several other persons injured. The senior divisional officer of the Senegal Maritime Division, Cyril Abondo, said during a security meeting here in Edea some hours ago that at least 10 persons, 10 suspects have been arrested in connection to the attack in Sikum in Dibamba subdivision, and security measures, he told us, are being stepped up to ensure that this does not occur again. In the meantime, this is something that has been occurring again and again, and this information we got from the traditional ruler of Ekite, one of the localities along the highway. His Majesty Bel Louis, Chief of Ekite, told us that motorbikes are frequently attacked. The attackers often make away with the bikes and leaving the owners wounded, sometimes dead. And the attack has now shifted from motorbikes to vehicles. And the senior divisional officer said calm has returned and security measures are being stepped up. And of course, the senior divisional officer of the Senegal Maritime Division also gave some instructions to road users, notably transporters. He said they should avoid picking up passengers along the way late in the night on this section of National Highway number 3. And the senior divisional officer of the Senegal Maritime Division reassured the people that all possible security measures have been taken to ensure that this does not happen again, to ensure that travelers and all other persons using National Road number 3, notably the section in his area of command linking the Senegal Maritime Divisional headquarters Edea and the country's economic capital Douala, are secured. Babla Jonathan, Danny Warenzede, Eko Kalobe, reporting from Ekite in Edea 2 subdivision, Senegal Maritime Division, Littoral region of Cameroon.
Thank you, Babila Jonathan, and we are glad we could finally get you to have some updates of what is happening in Edea, because public opinion, especially passengers or travelers, want to be sure that there is enough or adequate security along that highway, and they can now freely or securely travel at night, because we know that yesterday our reporters made a stopover at some travel agencies here in Douala where both drivers and even passengers were already scared, expressing fear traveling on that highway, especially at night. And we know most persons prefer to travel at night so as to catch up with time when they to and fro Yaoundé. Thank you, Babila, and sure, beyond those words, there is going to be some follow-up. And viewers, we thank you so much for always being with us. Don't go away, our programs continue as usual. In about 30 minutes, Equinoxe Soir and the news in the French language comes up at 8 p.m. Thank you so much for staying with us on Equinoxe Television.
Equinoxe Télévision, au-delà de l'image, nous rendons compte.
Ce jeudi sur Equinoxe Télévision.
J'étais en haut d'une échelle, J'étais juste avec la massette et le poinçon. En tapant sur les bris de terre, ça a glissé sur le poinçon, ça a tapé sur le genou. En me revenant le lendemain matin, je vois comment mon pied est enflé. Je n'arrivais plus à déposer le pied au sol. Le pied était là bien enflé, le puits sortait